Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Fluffy and I'm back with another video. Now, before we get into it, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you can be notified when your girl drops another video or decides to go live. So, let's get into it.
Yeah, get into it.
So today, on our celebrity tea, yes, I'm back, and I'm talking about my boy Kanye West. And even though we're not really friends, he's really not my boy, but that's beside the point. But you're here and you still want to know what's going on, so let's get into it. Now, as you guys know, Kanye West decided that he wanted to run in the US election for 2020 for presidency. That's a lot in that one sentence, I know. Now, we knew that it wasn't physically possible because Kanye West's mental health has been one of the key things. When you think about him, you think about his mental health, how it hasn't been stable the last few years since his late mother, Donda, passed. Now, here we have Kanye West deciding to go and do a rally. Not only does he go and does this rally, but he kind of embarrasses himself by saying things like, you know, I wanted to abort my daughter. I didn't want to have her. My father didn't want to have me, and had a complete mental breakdown on the stage in front of a crowd of people while he's rallying for reasons of anti-abortion.
My mom saved my life. There would have been no Kanye West because my dad was too busy.
And promising the American people $1 million to not have a baby. Well, let me tell you, if you're gonna give me that 1 million, and I'm ready to go to the clinic too, and I'm gonna collect my million and still have my baby. Thank you. No, I'm really not. That was rude. I'm sorry. Anyway, moving past that. So here you have him making these uncanny promises that we know are physically and not able to happen in the States. Kanye, okay, whatever. We're gonna let that slide. Now, here's what we do know. Proceeding right after this rally, we see a series of tweets just coming in. Kanye is going in. He is calling out Kris Jenner. He is calling out Kim Kardashian. He called out Drake. He called out Meek Mill. All these tweets are leading up to these they're ambiguous situations that we're trying to put two and two together. So it's like a puzzle piece for him. But in his mind, it makes completely sense that he's calling people out. For instance, he called out his own wife, Kim Kardashian West, and by saying she was wrong and Meek Mill is his homeboy, and she was just downright disrespectful because of a meeting that took place with her and Meek Mill about prison reform. Now, TMZ later said that that meeting that took place, because everybody was thinking like, well, did they meet just one-on-one? No, come to find out that they did have other liaisons a part of that meeting. So that meeting that he's referring to, it seems to be pretty a legit meeting, and they actually really talked about prison reform. However, he's also kind of insinuating that something else may have taken place and that Kim Kardashian is at fault, whereas Meek Mill, he's cool and he's innocent and he's the innocent party in this. Okay, cool. Then he calls out the mama Kardashian herself and Kim by saying, Kris and Kim put out a statement on my behalf without my consent, and being able to say white supremacy at the end of that tweet. Excuse me. So he says it at the end of this tweet, and we kind of don't understand why is he saying white supremacy when talking about his wife, who actually is half Armenian. So I'm not sure if the white supremacy part fits there, but for some odd reason he's going on this tyrant on Twitter, and we're watching it happen. He's called out several other names. He's talked about some situations that I don't know in his eyes if he's giving light to them, and maybe that's what he's doing and trying to justify some things here, but it's not making sense to us, Kanye. Okay, you putting out these ambiguous tweets and we want to know. We want the tea, bro. We want the tea, but we need you to get it together in the process. So what we're seeing here is him going through this like extremely high and extremely low version of bipolarness. How do we know that? Why? Because Kim Kardashian, instead of being petty, which we know her and her sisters to be for, she comes out and says, look, I normally publicly do not I don't even speak on things like this because they're so private to me and my family, and she wants to respect Kanye's privacy. However, she's finding that hard to do because he's putting it out there on the table for everybody to see. So in her IG post, that was also a series of tweets. The tweets have now been deleted, but here's the IG story of her, in a sense, asking for social media to just be non-judgmental about what's going on with Kanye. So in this series of IG posts, this is what we see. We see Kim Kardashian saying that Kanye West has been suffering since his mother died. We see that he's suffering from bipolar, and that she does want to respect his privacy. She wants to respect her family's privacy. She wants us, as those that are in social media and on social media, to be non-judgmental. And she said it's a little hard for us not to be judgmental because, for the simple fact that we're not probably dealing with someone in that same position. However, Kim, I beg to differ. Many of us have dealt with someone who has bipolar. We just like to say rude shit because, well, we can. Now, you can't stop that, but nice attempt at us trying to be understanding for your husband. I get what you're trying to do. Then she says, look, at the end of the day, what we have realized is that even though we want him to get help, he has to want to get help for himself. So I'm assuming this may be her way of saying to Kanye, in other words, look, if you want help, you're going to have to get it yourself. And the reason why I say that is because Kanye put out a couple tweets stating that on 2 occasions since the rally, Kim has tried to get him some help with some professional doctors. Her and a doctor flew out to Wyoming, according to him, to get him to go and get some help. That didn't happen. The next day, we see him hanging out with none other, Dave Chappelle. Now, if you guys remember, a few years ago, we thought Dave Chappelle went crazy because he went missing. Nobody could find Dave Chappelle, not realizing that Dave Chappelle hopped his happy ass on a plane all the way to Africa to go figure some things out just because he was simply tired of Hollywood. Doesn't mean he was crazy for the things that he was doing. It just means that, hey, he was trying to get his life together. And who can be mad at him for trying to get his stuff together? Nobody. So maybe that's what needs to happen here, because Dave Chappelle actually came out and said, hey, my boy ain't crazy. Ain't nothing wrong with him. He good. Okay, you saying he good, but his wife is saying otherwise. And I would say that his wife would know him on a more intimate level than his homeboy does. I don't know. That's neither here nor there. But I will say I'm going to trust Kim on this one and say, you know what? Kanye needs a little bit more help and a little bit more attention. So if you guys are going to give that to him, at least be compassionate with him and understand that he is going through something right now. All right, Kim. I could respect that. That's cool. So, how do you guys feel about this whole Kanye situation now that you kind of know a little bit of what's going on? Because at first we knew he was suffering from mental health, but no one actually had a diagnosis from him. And Kim today just decided to put it out there that, look, he is bipolar. He is. And right now he's having one of those trips where, okay, so maybe he was been on medication and right now he has decided to wean himself off. And this is what we do see with people who deal with mental health, because I know I am a person who has suffered from mental health. I am a person who's also taken medication for it as well. And I do know that if I'm not on that medication, I'm a little off. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I'm saying? I ain't off on the deep end, putting out a series of tweets about everybody, but I'm a little off. There's a difference. But when someone's suffering from severe mental health and they go off on the meds and now they're trying to cope and they're not knowing how to do it adequately with the right help, this is what happens. This is clearly what happens. So here we are, fluff bunnies. That's all I got for you on this whole situation, but let's talk about it. So, do you guys really think that American people would have voted for Kanye for president? That is the question that I'm going to ask you, given that he has a series of issues with mental health. We've seen him go off on people. We've seen him say rude things. We've seen him overstep boundaries. We've seen him even curse people from TMZ out just because they taking a picture. So, if mental health is to question, do you honestly believe that Kanye West would have won the presidency for the U.S. election of 2020? My vote is no. So with that being said, fluff bunnies, I want to talk to you about it right here, right now in my comments. So definitely Put your comment down and please be respectful, as Kim said, everyone. And yeah, let's get into it. So with that being said, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe at some point throughout this video. Thanks.